Hello and welcome to Mastering Mediocrity Music Reviews. I am Jeff.
I'm Ben.
I'm Mark.
And we are here today to celebrate Wasp's The Last Command. But first, shots. Let's do it.
And we're going to do the one that we did last week because Mark didn't have it.
I did not.
Yeah, he deserves a chance at it.
Long Branch Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Wild Turkey.
Wild Turkey, yes. Oak and Texas Mesquite. Charcoal Refined.
And if you haven't checked out Mastering Mediocrity Imbibes, now's the time to do it. We rate these liquors, and we have a good time doing it. And tonight we did Freedom Whiskey and
something called
1776. Well done, gentlemen.
Yeah, totally random.
Yeah.
Or like a, what's the word, coincidence that we picked those. And this is, what's it sponsored by? Not sponsored by,
Matthew McConaughey has endorsed this some way. He had
like
some
or whatever.
input to the process,
Yeah.
and then Eddie Russell,
who's
the
a
chief distiller, master distiller.
From Wild Turkey.
Yeah.
43% alcohol.
And I gave
not
this
very high.
Yeah, I gave this an 8, I believe. And I gave the 1776 an 8 and the Freedom Whiskey a 5.
Yes.
And I like this because I think it has good character and it was generally enjoyable. Had the good stomach feel. I think you'll like it, but we'll see.
Your wife had a birthday last week, so I was unable to attend.
That's okay. We've forgiven you.
Well, you know.
Just don't watch the episode.
Yeah, actually, there are several name drops of you just saying, well, there was like the blaming you, and then there was like the sad you weren't there. So we kind of went through the different
Blaming
emotions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I had a valid excuse.
You did have a valid excuse. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, right. It's got quite the bite for a lower percentage
It's
of
a
alcohol.
nice ride. I think that's why I like it. You get a little bit of the hit at the front, and then it starts going down the esophagus.
Do you remember what I
Fuses
gave
to the
it?
stomach. I think it was like a 7. Is it lower today?
Maybe. Yeah.
I think we found, like, when you start ranking them up against other ones, that you slot them maybe lower. Just the intricacies of the flavor, but solid by their own. Sometimes you maybe are either a little bit more of a downer or a little bit high on it than you would be otherwise. And this one, like, I think it slots in between, for me, the American whiskey and the 1776. That 1776 for $29.99 is incredible. And this is $39.99. So
It's standard pricing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
It's not bad. It doesn't really stand out.
Yeah.
To me, it's just a pretty good whiskey.
Fair enough. What'd you
give
give
it?
it?
I'd give it a 7.
Okay. I think I'm more at like a 7.5 this time around.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, but all right. I don't mean to take imbibes over here, but I thought I'd give it a little shout out since for whatever reason the music reviews get more views. So we'll just try to send people back. We do other exciting things as well. I'm wearing a tie. I can do whatever I want.
All business.
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah. All right, so yeah, we're doing Wasp Last Command. How did we land on this one, Jeff?
We spun the wheel. We had spun the wheel and landed on this before, but we had technical issues with the recording and totally ditched it. So if you've been watching and you actually watch all the way through and you watch the wheel spin, you will definitely see that we did not go over Wasp for The Last Command. But we had like an awesome time recording the review of it, and I felt like we made excellent points, but we were trying a new mic recording method and things didn't match up with the OS version of my phone. Like, I think they're attempting to fix it. Whatever. Here we are. It's working now. We're going to do it.
Yeah. All right, so Wasp is an American heavy metal band formed in 1982. They're out of L.A., and they obviously, I don't want to say obviously, but they really had their heyday in the 80s. And they just, they have put out a fuckload of albums. It's like they've put out like 14 or 15 albums.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. They've put shit out all through the 90s. So, a real quick side story here. A channel I follow on YouTube, Metal School. They put out really cool fucking documentaries about bands, all sorts of bands, but they're usually like hair metal 80s bands, that type of shit. And they put up a poll one day, like, who do you want to see? And they didn't, Wasp wasn't on there, but I made a comment like, I picked this band, but I'd like to watch, I'd like a Wasp one. And then, a couple other people put Wasp. And so they just put a Wasp documentary out 2 or 3 days ago.
Oh, was your comment from 7 months ago or 7? Yeah,
7
okay.
months
So
ago,
they finally did it. All right.
No, I mean, this
It probably takes quite a bit of time to do
this
something
was
like
a
that.
55-minute documentary
Oh,
about
yeah.
band from fucking basically start to finish. It was really good. I mean, if you got an hour to kill at the end of the night or whatever, it's really cool. But it's Wasp, so I know you're probably not gonna do it.
Yeah, probably not.
And I might watch through some of it. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, once you get through the '80s, like the part where like they were in their heyday, not that it's not cool, but you're like, these are the albums that I know or whatever.
Yeah.
But I went and listened to some of the newer stuff, and it was alright. But
yeah, but this one has a couple special
sounds
songs.
Great.
Yeah.
He sounds almost exactly the same as he did on this album, which came out in 1985.
6? It wasn't 1985,
November
right?
9th, 1985.
It's the year I was born.
That was the year before I was born.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, do you think they deserve the heavy metal designation? You thought it was pretty hard, but is it heavy metal?
To me, it's not heavy metal. To me, it's heavy 80s rock.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't call it heavy metal. But I mean, they go for it, man. Like every song, it feels like they're giving it their all. The entire time.
I can see them
their
as
concert would have probably been
their
a whole
concerts.
nother level of awesome in the 80s.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I didn't know this. That documentary showed me that Blackie Lawless, the lead singer, used to come out on stage and assless chaps with his ass out and play concerts. And I think it was, I can't remember what year it was, but they were part of the, and this is one of those memories that you guys probably forgot that you knew, one of those things you forgot you knew.
Mm-hmm.
They were part of the 15 songs that are like so bad that they can't play it or whatever. There was 15 songs from the 80s, how everything was like super.
What song was it?
It was Fuck Like a Beast, Animal, Fuck Like a Beast.
Yeah, that, in
from
the 80s, that's a no-go.
Yeah, like this is from like the album before this one, so that, whatever year that was, 1984 or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that got put on there with, whatever else was there. So, I don't know. Wasp, I never knew the name of the band, or you always knew the band, but I never knew a song by Wasp. So it was like, finally hearing Wasp songs, you're like, oh, okay, so that's who it is. Now this voice is that guy. And so, I don't know. I think they're one of those bands that are have always been there, but you may not necessarily realize it.
Yeah, did they have like big
especially
radio
after
hits?
Yeah,
They did.
especially after watching that documentary. I didn't realize, because I had found a song from the next album, The Headless Children, called The Neutron Bomber.
Yeah,
And
you showed that to me. That's awesome.
Yeah, that song is so fucking cool.
And there's a video that someone, was it a fan video?
Yeah, it's just like a fan video, like with an anime, and it's shown.
Look for that. It is cool.
Yeah, we'll put up the little fucking graphic for it.
Like from a top, like just like a powerful moment in the video.
The song's called The Neutron Bomber, and the video is an anime, or a manga or whatever. There might
style,
style
anime
or whatever.
style, yeah. Japan.
And it just basically depicts the bombing of Hiroshima or Nagasaki. Or at least that's what it looks like.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's
a creative interpretation. It is
nuts.
Yeah.
And that was the first, what I thought was my first introduction to Wasp. And then I go listen to their top 5 or whatever, and then it's like Wild Child and fucking
okay.
and next song or whatever.
Yeah, Wild Child
I know that.
And then you're like, oh yeah, like I've heard this song before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
92.5.
My mom had this on when I was a kid.
Exactly.
I
Or,
heard this on the radio
Yeah.
when I was 4.
You've heard them, but
Exactly.
you may not know who Wasp is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I didn't. I had never.
Right. That's a
the
long
band
way to
name
get to
you.
that point.
You know, it wasn't Def Leppard and all the others.
It's a long answer for do they deserve to be heavy metal? And I think the answer was like when you compare to what heavy metal is now, like let's just put them up against like Lamb of God, not heavy metal, but definitely a progenitor. Yeah, part of the heavy metal scene.
I don't know. When was Metallica's first album?
Oh god, this is one of those things we should know. I want to say 1981, 81, 82.
See, I would think at that point, like, that's your heavy metal. And
this... Yeah, but some of that's not too terribly hard. It is.
1983 is Kill 'Em All.
Yeah.
And then let's just ask the little Google
more
machine.
thrash than it is metal, I think.
Heavy metal album. This just says Randy Holden's cult classic Population 2 is considered by some to be the world's first heavy metal album.
Now we got to check that out for sure.
It was slated for release several months before Black Sabbath's debut.
Yeah.
But I think most people would probably consider Black Sabbath's debut the first
true heavy metal.
Right.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, they definitely have a vein. Some of their songs, I think, hit almost on the, I don't want to say like epic metal scene.
Who?
But like almost
Wasp.
There's a couple songs they have that's not quite epic. It's not what they typically seem to do. It is more in the vein of Black Sabbath, the kind of brooding metal that they have. But we'll get to it. I mean, to me, Cries in the Night and Widowmaker are they're slower, more dramatic metal, whereas the rest of the album is more kind of like, let's sing about sex, drugs, and
80s
women.
hair band rock.
Yeah, like glam heavy metal.
Yeah, that documentary said they wanted to be, basically they wanted to be a wild band. Like they just wanted to go
balls to the wall.
All the way, yeah.
Yeah.
And they certainly do.
And I don't really get that necessarily coming from this album. I do sort of.
No, I mean, there's definitely
Texas,
songs. Yeah, even
Wild
Child.
Yeah, that they're wanting to have a good time and have, sex drive, fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that.
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't come across, but this sounds a little bit more mainstream, I guess is what I'm saying.
It's kind of arena rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Singing to a large population.
Yeah, I fuck groupies all the time, kind of.
Yeah.
Look at all the chicks and blow and.
I didn't realize this at all, but apparently Blackie Lawless at the time was, just a wild man. But apparently later in life, sometime in the I'm just gonna say the last 10 years, I don't know when. I didn't look too far.
He went straight edge.
Yeah, he went straight edge. He fucking went religious. Jeff, your computer's doing something.
Maybe like AA.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, AA will do that to you.
Yeah. Gotta follow the steps.
Let's just jump into the songs.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's see
Would you guys have a good what's the word I'm looking for?
Synopsis?
Yeah, did you guys have a good
I think you
opinion of it? No, did you guys have a good opinion of the album?
Oh, I love this album.
Did you guys like it?
I'll preface this by saying if you like this kind of music, you could probably add 3 points to each one of my scores because 80s rock is
we're starting at a 7.
It's probably one of my least favorite genres of music that's out there.
I'm glad you're being honest.
But if you like 80s style rock, they fucking give it to you.
Yeah, it's not my favorite either, but
they really deliver.
This is a cool album.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially a couple songs that really just they could sing that style all the time, and I would love it.
Yeah. That's so funny. That's don't cheat, Mark.
What?
Don't get my answers.
No. All right.
So yeah, first up is Wild Child. I love this song. I'm not gonna get my score.
I want to hear Mark's score first.
I basically want to hear Mark's. I really want to hear Mark's answers now.
Yeah. What's your first score?
My first score is a 5.
God,
but I preface that by saying if you like this music, you could add 3 more to that.
The heart.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, go for it.
Just as it starts out, it's like the music is very good. The music and Basically, every song is very, very good.
Okay.
But you get into that, like...
That's not written
80s,
down.
80s lyrics, like, I fuck everybody so good. You know, they're overconfident sense of themselves in bed because all they do is, like, fuck starstruck groupies, you know? So, of course, they're like, think it's the greatest thing in the world.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine just getting railed out by Blackie Lawless?
Yeah.
1986, like January of 1986, like right after this came out.
I haven't imagined it until just now.
But you are picturing it.
Thank you, Blackie Lawless.
Yeah.
So the best lay of my life.
Yeah.
They kind of hit with that a little hard at the beginning, but yeah, I mean, like overall the song's good if you really like this music.
It's iconic.
A 5 for me is a pretty good score for this genre. I didn't hate listening.
Man,
to it.
it can't get much better than that.
I know, right? Jeff, would you?
8.5 all day, every day.
Yeah.
I love this song because I feel like it's like quintessential stripper metal, and you're like, you just don't ever like you're never.
It takes you back to a smoke-filled
strip club in
Miami or something.
Yeah. Oh my God, those were the days. I spent so much money in strip clubs.
You're never unhappy in a strip club, and if you are, don't go to strip clubs.
No.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the song is just so fun. It is their number one song, and there's a reason for it. It's a great song.
I gave it a 10.
Yeah, just because it has that provenance.
To me, this is like a song that you could put up on the fucking Mount Rushmore of 1980s hair metal, glam metal. You know, that kind of whatever that's
legendary.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could put it up there with the best of them. In my opinion,
I agree. It's a great start to the album too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the way to go, and they immediately move into a similar song.
Oh my
Ball
God,
Crusher.
Oh my God,
but
bro,
I don't like it nearly as much.
I don't either.
Yeah,
It's still fun though. Like it continues the fun.
Yeah,
but like it's a very kind of basic song.
Yeah,
a little corny.
It is.
A
little bit. Well, yeah. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
So my first opinion of it, as I was like listening to it, read through the lyrics, was like it's kind of like the start of divorce culture in America, but like in song form. I see all these like 35-year-old guys at a bar, like she's such a ball crusher. She's always on top of me, you know. Like fuck this girl, I'm leaving. You know.
Yeah, she does terrible things.
All of our parents stayed together forever. I'm not doing this. Get away from this crazy woman.
Yeah, I mean, so
I grew up in a loving household.
So first he starts off like, I'm the wild child.
Shit.
And then he's in a relationship with someone who is like ruining his life. Like, dude, you're the guy ruining other people's lives. And now you're complaining about that woman in your life that's ruining your life?
Right.
This is apple juice.
Yeah, it's great.
I forgot. I was thinking it was going to be my energy drink.
Nice.
I gave Ball Crusher a 6.5. Like, back in the day. I think I've listened to this album enough where my low scores kind of like Mark. Not that you'd give them 3 points, but you could probably add maybe 1.
Yeah.
To them.
It's still a really fun song.
But this is like the type of 80s like hair metal scene that I like, where it's just like a dun 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 dun. At the end, he'll say a line, and then there'll be a little do 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 do, some sort of doodle do on the guitar. Yeah. But then the rest of it, they're just like ch 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 ch. I love that shit. I don't know.
It's fairly straightforward.
Yeah,
there's nothing intricate about this song.
No, I feel like they do. It's not like overtly blues, but they do a lot of blues influence. You can hear that blue note in there.
Blues is kind of the father of rock to a large.
Of course, but I feel like they really lean into it. But they really do instead of blues rock, they do like a real rock, hair metal blues. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It definitely has a tone.
It when I listen to
it. It's not. It's most obvious in Blind in Texas.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna reference.
But you hear it, or at least I hear it. I hear it all throughout the album. Not every song necessarily, but I do hear it quite a bit. And this is the first one where I do. Anyway, I'm sorry, but yeah, go ahead, guys.
No, I gave it a 6. It's rhythmic, has a good tone. I like the sound. But it's nothing special. 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
You gave it a 3.
I did, yeah. But you add your 3.
Right where you are. 6. There you go. Yeah. And he had like a 5 for the first one. Like it's at 8. You had the 10. It's legendary. I get it. So we move into Fistful of Diamonds, the third track. And the more I hear this song, the more I like it. I
Yeah.
gave it a 6 out of 10 on my first pass. But when I hear the song, it has that opening where they're talking about the stocks and the profits being really good for all these bands. And like sets the mood, and then he starts talking about how much like money makes him go crazy. He loves money, and he's just he's got this fistful of diamonds. Yeah, it's cool. It's cooler than Ball Crusher for sure.
Yeah,
I think I would move this into like the 7.25 range.
Okay.
Yes.
Marcus?
I gave it a 5.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's a decent, good overall song.
Yeah,
it still has that same '80s flair.
Yeah.
So I mean with every song they just fucking bring it.
Yeah,
so
they are going pretty hard.
Yeah, but it's good. Like I could see like they would be such a fun band to see live. Like their shows would just be outrageous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Especially like
high energy.
Right here, summer of 1986.
Yeah.
Like
Down on the river.
After this album has been released, they've got those first couple of weeks of shows, like those butterflies out of them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like summer. They're out there playing the fucking festival circuit. There's fucking 50,000 people out there just singing.
Wild Child comes on.
Yeah. And you're just out there.
Everyone's doing blow.
Yeah, like
it's the 80s.
Yeah.
It's the 80s.
I have an uncontrollable erection right now. Blackie Lawless out there. Assless chaps.
Yeah. 135 pounds of gristle.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave this guy a 7, but to me this song that feels lower than what, like you said, is what I like. How I feel about after.
There's better moments in this album.
There are. So maybe 7 is fair.
Yeah, I'm at a 7.25. It is fair.
But yeah, this one reminds me of along those lines about what were we saying, how they're really just glorifying the excesses of fame and fortune and everything. But it was the 80s. I loved. I think that shit was just way more okay. I'm okay with that. Just generally, I don't mind them. I've said it before, but I prefer my artists to be fucking eccentric, and I'd like them to be as eccentric as possible, just so that they can express their
and still accessible.
They can be as weird as fucking Lady Gaga wearing meat suits at the fucking
but the music is still accessible, and that's the point. We've always said if you're gonna make music, make it something that a lot of people want to listen to.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
There is no point in making really weird off the wall music.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, but
sometimes where it's defended because it's just like art.
Yeah, I'm really open to it. Let them be as, like I said, be as weird as fucking possible. If you got, I hate to be like, if you got to die at 27 to put out this fucking, like just this incredible amount of work, in 2 albums they put out the most incredible songs, Amy Winehouse style. Go out in a fucking flame. If that's what she's got to do to fucking do the artwork that she has to do to get out there, it's like
we get to appreciate it. As a listener.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You don't want to encourage it necessarily. You hope she gets still able to do those things, but obviously, if that's the way it is, it fucking.
There's people who can burn that candle for a really long time, like the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Go for it, but not very many people seem to make it through that.
Yeah, they're few and far between.
Yeah, so we'll move on to Jack Action, the 4th track. And, I think you're going to murder this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're kind of lukewarm to this song.
Yeah, I'd definitely bump it up a point.
Looking
Just
for
1 point.
Jack Action
Yeah.
to get my satisfaction.
All right, Mark,
I love the song. All right, go for it then.
First.
I don't know what this was about. If it maybe the guy's talking about a drug dealer.
It's revenge.
I tried.
Okay, so that's what I thought. There really wasn't much to say about it.
Someone killed his girl.
I feel like Jack Action would probably kick this guy's ass.
Yeah, his name is Jack Action.
Yeah, I mean, he's going after Jack Action. Here comes, tiny little rock star ready to fucking rip his brains out, and Jack Action just
So a guy kills his
down.
girl, and he's talking about finding Jack Action so he can kill him.
Yeah, it didn't do much for me. I thought it was the worst song on the album.
I can see that for sure.
I'm pretty sure.
I disagree, but it's definitely not. If there are 11 songs on this album, it's definitely number 10.
Yeah, probably. I like it a lot because it's so cheesy. Dominator by Grand Magus.
Yeah.
Like, it's a stupid song, but I like stupid sometimes because it's very unchallenging and I find it catchy.
Yeah.
So I don't want to talk about it too much because in like terms of this album, it is probably 10 out of 11.
Yeah.
It might be 11 out of 11. I give it a 7.5. I like this song.
It is fun after I've listened to it, like I said, 20 times. But
yeah.
I originally gave it a 6. I might give it a 6.5.
All right.
But along those lines about Jack Ashton beating up Blackie Lawless in that documentary, they showed a picture of Blackie Lawless out there at a concert or whatever. Not a concert, just, taking a picture. And he was towering over these people.
Oh, really?
And
so he's big.
I looked it up. He's 6'4".
Oh, yeah. Wow. So he's your size.
Maybe he would kick Jack Ashton's ass.
Yeah.
Kick my ass, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't ever think I'm a big guy. You guys are big guys, too. So, like, I hang out with big guys. And average height's like 5'10" or something like that. And that's small. Honestly, that's really fucking small.
Yeah.
That's like Kyle. Let's move on to the 5th track.
All right, here we go. Yeah, Widowmaker. Yeah, Mark.
That was pretty good.
Okay.
I gave it a 6. The intro was really good. To me, it felt more like, I don't know what I was looking for with the album title, like Last Command, but it seemed more of like a commanding type song. Like it belonged more if there was any kind of theme.
Yes. Did you feel like they changed their tone a little bit in this song?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'm just wondering how much he picked up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd have to hear it again. I listened through it.
You know that.
I listened through it 3 times.
Yeah.
So it's hard to remember what each song sounds like.
Yeah.
But I gave it a 6, so it's up there on the higher scores.
This one and
the next one I think were my 2 favorite on there.
This one is not as much a heavy metal song. I feel like this is where they kind of go, it's not doom, but it's a slower, more melodic metal. It's darker in tone.
I don't know if I'd call it melodic metal. I think
it's just a step down from their normal
feel. Down the doom path, but just take one step down the doom path. And
it's not doom metal.
But just stop after one step.
Just like a lower note.
Right. Slower, maybe tune down another half step than what they maybe normally play or whatever.
Yeah, there's a guitar change here for sure. And it's not so much in your face. The drums aren't as impactful. The guitars aren't as loud. There's a whisper quality to this. And I feel like there are bands that emulated this sound throughout their entire albums that come later in time. Like, I don't know if this is like the root of doom metal necessarily, but there is an essence there to me. Because this is not the arena rock metal glam that they've been hitting so far. This one has a very different qualitative feel. And I like it. I like that whispery metal. And I feel like they do it so well. When I hit this song, I was like, is this Wasp? And fortunately, there's another song on the album that does a similar type feel. And I'm like, they do this so well. I wish that's what they did. But they do their other stuff so well, too. And to me, it's just such a contrast. And I love special songs on albums where they really are like...
This song
I feel like a different band here. I give it a 9 out of 10. I love this song.
A variety through the album. If every song sounds the same, they all kind of drown out.
A lot of bands do that.
Yeah, this song, kind of like you were saying, they kind of really go for that 80s arena rock, hair metal. Not that they're necessarily that, but that vibe. But this song is like a nice, like you say, welcome change at this point in the album, because now we're 4 or 5 songs in.
5 in, yeah.
And you're like, okay, you guys have done these things, these party songs or whatever, and then this song comes in, Widowmaker. I am the Widowmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking great. It's. I didn't give it a great score, but I like it a lot more than the score. I give it a 7.5. I think that's probably a little low, maybe an 8, but...
Yeah, I think when I rate it, it was just like such a surprise. I liked it so much on the album. But then if I fit them against other kind of doom metal songs, maybe it doesn't hold up as much as the high parts.
I definitely wouldn't call this like the start of doom metal. You'd probably go with like Uriah Heep or something like that as somebody who was out 10 years, 15 years before this or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? And Ghost sounds a lot like Uriah Heep, and not that Ghost is doom metal, but you know, it's
they have doom metal songs.
They've got that,
or more of that quality, anyways.
But all right, let's go to Blind in Texas, a high point of the album. I think based on all of our looks to each other.
Yeah, what do you think, Mark?
I liked it.
All right,
it was good. It makes me like long for the Texas of the '80s because they're like,
oh my god,
it's not just like this style of music, like country music, like the rebel country, or outlaw country
style.
Like everybody always talks about how fucking awesome Texas was back then, and now it's like they're trying to make like
Still
Joel Osteen King of Texas, ban abortions. They're never gonna legalize marijuana. You know, it makes me long for the Texas of 50 years ago, 40 years ago.
I literally said this song makes me want to go to Texas in 1984.
Yeah.
I think I said this in the first one, but it reminds me of a time when when you would get off, you'd go to St. Louis and it felt different, or like the towns in between felt different. But like Texas always seemed like, man, that's where the fucking hillbilly cowboys are. When down there,
they do whatever they want.
Line dancing down there, fucking
regional
cowboy hats or whatever.
Now you can go to XYZ city and it just feels like,
oh, there's an Applebee's, there's O'Charlie's,
it's just a different
jack off
temperature, right? Yeah. I mean, when you're in Florida, there's palm trees, and like the buildings are just built a little bit different in Florida, so that has its own feel. But like, until you get to like southern Alabama, it's pretty similar. It's not really. There's no real differentiation. All right, you're going through Kentucky. There's definitely horse country for sure. They have their regions, but I mean, some of the major towns in Alabama, Georgia, like they're not any really different than what we see now in Ohio. You have to get into like those special historical cities before you see that real difference, but everybody else is kind of growing up the same way, expanding with the same restaurant chains and building styles.
It's all fucking Black Rock.
Yeah, they ruined it. Blind in Texas, I love it because there are so many cues to the Texas atmosphere at the time. Even that small interlude where he's like, the bartender's telling him, we ain't got no more food or no more drink. Like, we're out.
What do you mean you ain't got no more liquor?
And he's like, I live in LA. It's like, what am I going to do? Get on a horse?
And ride all the way back to LA? He's like, don't fall off.
Yeah.
It's so cheesy. It's so fun. I love it. This whole album could be described as fun.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And just all the way, it's all fun. This song is especially fun, but the part that is interesting about the song, it's only like 4 minutes and 12 or 21 seconds, something like it, but it plays so long. I feel like this song is a lot longer than it plays. The song Widowmaker is like 5 minutes and 17 seconds or something.
It's got quite a long intro.
Yeah. But this song feels longer, and I think it's just an experience. This song is an experience. If there's any experience in the album, it's this one, because it does take you through those conversational narratives. And then like the song is a story, and it's a progression of what happens through the night. And I love it. It's a special song. I gave it a 7.5, but man, it's more than that. It's like an 8.5. Like, I think just like musically it's not terribly awesome, but the song itself is an experience.
It's
bump
like
it up.
The real rock and blues. Real rock and blues. Real fast, real fun. I gave it 8.5. That's what I gave it at the first time, 8.5.
Yeah.
It's definitely an 8.5 at least.
Yeah, I agree. What did you end up giving it?
I think I gave it 6.
Poo-poo.
But you add the 3,
and
you get to like a 9.
Yeah, it's just not your style.
It's just not my style, but it's a fun song. It's a good song for, it's the music that it is, the genre that it is.
That's fair.
I liked it. It made me long for those days of old Texas. Yeah. So it did its job, even though it wasn't trying to do that then. It was just like, this is the way it is.
Hey, just go to Texas.
Yeah.
Experience this wild town.
Right.
So let's move into Cries in the Night.
Hell yeah, let's.
What do you think, Ben?
I think we should ask Mark.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think what this one sound like. It was a change in pace. I gave it a 4.
Yeah.
Like the whole, I don't know, when I was reading through the lyrics, like the whole time he's like, I'm gonna go, I want the diamonds, give me the chicks, I'm raging, and now it's like, he's like,
desperation.
Turning introspective.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Yeah.
And like he doesn't know what to do with everything that he's been trying to attain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There is a desperation in the song. It
Yeah, a
is
little
called
bit.
Cries in the Night.
Yeah.
I mean, he's concerned about something. Something is bothering him.
Let's see who wrote this song.
But what I put is like when they do metal, like this kind of more down to earthy tones, not the in-your-face metal. I think they do it so well. I wish they did more of it in the album, because the rest of it ends up being kind of the same vein, maybe not so much arena rockish, but the Cries in the Night and Widowmaker are my two favorite songs on the album, and it's because of the mood that they set. I am more in tone with the negative, dark emotions. Like that's just me, and I feel that stuff. I like every other aspect of the album, but like these are the songs that I really slot into. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I'll allow it because somebody who's trying to live to the fucking excess.
They got to talk to somebody every once in a while.
Yeah,
yeah.
I can understand
crazy.
that. Like, hey, sometimes it's fucking nuts out there. Like somebody.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, so I don't mind them doing that. And this song, it does feel kind of like a made for MTV type song. Like they're trying to do something a little bit more popular. But I don't give a fuck. I love this song.
Oh
yeah,
you liked this one better than Widowmaker?
Yeah.
What did you give this one?
I give it a 9.
Mm.
The only I'd probably give it a 9.5 or a 10 if it were longer.
Yeah, that's what I put. My only complaint with this is too short.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I mean, I think I like this one more than I said, but
it's again another quintessential 80s styled song, 80s metal style.
I've heard
song.
your rating before on this because we did a recording, but I don't remember this. I'm glad you like this song that much.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking great. Yeah, that has some great musical moments.
It's not like I mean I wouldn't say great as in intricate or
no.
Oh man, you're gonna be blown away by the musicianship.
That's
that
not
they're
gonna
bad
happen.
musicians or anything, but it's just a catchy
Mood
pop
setter.
metal song.
Yeah.
That sounds bad. It's called pop metal, but
For the time.
yeah, what can
Maybe.
it is what it is.
This one is more kind of like Poison, what Poison was doing ish.
Motley Crue.
Yeah, has that almost whiny feel that they do. But I like it because it's Wasp doing it.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next song, The Last Command.
Yeah.
The namesake song.
It's kind of like the comeback from the previous song.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what to do with all this. And then it's like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Get back at it hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave it a 5. It was a good overall song. It's still that same 80s metal.
The next
feel.
two songs, like this, The Last Command and Running Wild in the Streets is... I don't want to say that it's different. Those two songs are... They're different in quality from the, like, Sex Drive, which comes, and then Wild Child and Fistful of Diamonds for sure. Like, this song is, like, almost like war metal to a degree. There's this kind of like, I got my band of brothers with me.
Like, we're going to do it.
And we're going to fight to the end.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool that they're doing it. Yeah. Like, I gave this song a 6 out of 10. And I always am Ben can attest to this. When the namesake song comes up, I really want it to be hyperbolic. But a lot of times it ends up being an average song in the album. And I get that because you're trying to summarize the album with the song, but like I either want it to be the hardest hitting song or the slowest song. And I just want it to be somehow terribly unique. But it almost never ends up being that way. Most of the time it is an average of the song. And this one is like their average song because it's not as special as anything else. So that's why I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it a weak 8.
I can see that too. I can see that.
A weak 8. Because I'm
7.75.
Definitely.
That's what a weak 8
Definitely
is.
not.
Yeah.
But then you're literally saying, oh, there's a strong 8 and there's a weak 8. So it averages below than that. It's a 7.75. Like, fuck you.
Your logic doesn't make sense.
It makes plenty of sense.
So yeah,
greater than, equal to, or less than.
It's less than. It's a weak 8. It's a 7.75.
It's a weak 8.
It's a less than or equal to.
It's a weak 8.
Fair. Tell us why.
Because I'm the same way. I want the title. If the album's gonna be named after a song or a song's gonna be named after the album, I feel like it's usually they have the songs and they're like, oh, The Last Command. That's either our best song. In my opinion, that should be the best song.
It should be.
Or like I get S in this case, that might be the coolest title, maybe. Yeah, maybe not. But
maybe they thought it was their best song.
Maybe,
but it's all subjective.
I don't think so, but that's probably why. That's really why it's an 8, a weak 8. Because if it was better, it might be a strong 8.
That's what I'm saying. What's the difference between a weak 8 and a strong 8?
What if it was named a different thing? What if instead of The Last Command, it was called? Let me pull up the lyrics here.
Yeah,
getting it or
it's a goodish song. What'd you say, Mark?
I gave it a 5.
All right.
I already kind of touched on it. It was like
in the middle.
It was like the.
Yeah. What if they called it Stand Up? But the album was called The Last Command, and then in this song they'd be like Stand Up for the last time and whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd give it a 7.
Would it be a strong 8 then?
Maybe.
Or would it be a 7?
Yeah, at that point, it'd probably lose points. Yeah, this song sucks.
I don't know.
Never paying any attention to it.
It's just not special.
Yeah, it's not great. At this point, I think the album really starts going downhill. What? Running Wild in the Streets. I don't love it, but to me, it really sounds like Running Wild, the band Running Wild. It has a real Running Wild sound, which is cool, but that's a Running Wild sound. Wasp does that. They do this really well, but it's just it doesn't do a whole lot for me. It's a catchy chorus.
For me, this song is better lyrics than it is music.
Yeah,
I kind of like. I get this like Gangs of New York feel. You know, he's got his guys behind him. He's feeling strong and confident, and like, you know, just they're running wilds in the street. They're in downtown New York. They got their clubs with the nails on them, and someone's got like a saber and shit, and they're just like about to go to war. And like the imagery's cool, but like there's like the music's not terribly great. It's like more of an average sound of what they have in the rest of the album, but it doesn't exceed itself.
Apple juice.
Yeah, you got the apple juice, not water. Yeah, so it's all right. It's cool.
Yeah, I give it a 5. It was, to me, it felt like it belonged more on a album called Last Command than some of the other ones.
Anything higher than a 6, did you?
No, but like 80s rock is literally like my least favorite genre of music.
I get it. All right.
So
fair.
For add your 3. It's a decent song. 8, 7, 8.
There you go.
There if you like that style of music.
Yeah.
You know, it brings it like it does in the rest of the album.
Yeah, it does bring it again.
It brings it.
Yeah, it brings it.
Yeah.
What'd you give it?
I gave it 6.5.
All right, I gave it 7.25. Yeah, it's not fantastic. So that brings us to the final technical song.
Sex
of the original. Yeah. Terribly fun song. It's got it all.
Mm-hmm. I said this song,
Indeed.
it felt like it was added just to piss off Tipper Gore. You know, just something that's like expressly sexual.
Yeah.
You know. And now knowing that they were on that, band 15 songs or whatever, I really feel like it was added to piss off the...
I'm surprised we didn't mention shock rock at all. Cause
I didn't realize it was.
It is, though. I mean, it's pretty in your face. Drugs, alcohol.
It is, but it's
very
so tame.
sex-oriented.
Sex-oriented, yeah.
In 1985,
get blasted drunk.
it is,
Yeah.
but like, we're in 2022 where it seems like, oh, whatever, like...
Yeah,
I could
this
go
is
watch
not
somebody
terribly
get their head
shocking
cut
at
off
all.
and fucking... It'd take 14 seconds to go find a video of someone getting their head cut off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, him talking about just fucking on, wherever he wants or whatever the fuck he's talking about, it just seems like, hey, yeah, man, go for it, whatever,
Have fun.
Yeah. But like, whatever.
It's a fun song.
It is fun. I give
it
it
a 7.7. 7.75. Just because it is so
7,
fun.
but,
And it re-energizes you even more than the previous 2 songs.
Yeah.
It's a great ending to me for the album. As it kind of summarizes the debauchery that's happening in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So why not just give it that big fucking period right at the end of the album?
Yeah.
A lot of albums don't do that. I just want to say that. Like, a lot of albums don't do this. They end with some weird-ass experimental song.
Yeah, that was a good point. I might add to it a little bit more. It's kind of like a, fuck you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Song. Yeah. I thought the guitar in it was spectacular. The music in this
guitar,
was probably one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Like, in the... When I think of, like, 1980s sex songs, like, it almost just kind of takes it out of, like, the enjoyment, because you just... I don't know. It's just a weird thing to sing about fucking groupies all the time.
Yeah. Honestly, you guys should watch that
Documentary.
That Wasp thing. It's I'd never listened to him talk. And oh, by the way, I watched to see if they brought up that video you talked about where he's drunk or whatever. They never mentioned it.
I think I don't know where that was or what that's about. There's something like I saw the lore and I thought it was the lore of Wasp, but apparently like the lead singer is Blackie Lawless.
Yeah.
I don't know what his real name is. That's definitely not his real name.
You don't think?
No, definitely not. And there's something about him chugging a bottle of vodka with his mom looking on disappointedly, and I don't know. If somebody sees this and knows that story, please put it in the comments below. I've tried to Google it since. I just must have fucking imagined it at some point.
Steve-O maybe in one of the original.
Who knows?
He was putting out videos.
I can imagine that being
Jack, like a whole bottle to the face.
And he's fucking huffing or not. I don't know what to call it, sucking gas or whatever.
Yeah.
Blackie Lawless, born Stephen Edward Duran.
Yeah, I can see why he's changed his rock name.
Blackie Lawless, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
much
more
better
fitting
than
to the
Stephen Edwin.
He said he was part Native American, Jeff.
Good for him.
He is part
turns out I'm like Elizabeth Warren levels of Native American.
Are you?
Yeah.
I want to do one just to see if I have more
than me. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. That definitely has a darker tone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
There's
definitely.
no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. You carry a darker complexion than.
Yeah. Then.
So where do you get that from? Do you know what other parts? Are you all like Anglo-Saxon?
It's like German and English and.
Honestly, the older you get, the more
Irish.
I start thinking like, man, Jeff's really starting to look like a mixture of your brothers.
Yeah.
John and Jamie,
definitely.
Some days I see you looking like Jamie. Some days I see you looking like John.
There are angles.
Really?
Yeah.
When I go
I haven't seen either
I'm
one of them in a while.
Yeah.
But it doesn't strike me.
I am the best looking of the three, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can take that trophy.
Yeah.
I will take that trophy.
All right, so we will say this.
Great album, listen to it.
Great album. Yeah, definitely listen to it. Worthy of a listen.
Oh, yeah.
There are technically 2 more tracks on the Spotify album, Mississippi Queen.
Yeah.
And what's the other one?
It is.
Oh, I can't remember now.
Savage.
Yes.
Savage is whatever.
Yeah, Savage is whatever.
Mississippi Queen's a nice cover. It is.
I think it's an awesome cover.
Yeah, I like the original better.
Yeah.
I like their cover.
Yeah,
I think it's awesome.
It's a nice high energy thing.
It's so they do such a Wasp version of Mississippi Queen.
They definitely do.
And so if you're liking what you see on the rest of the album, listen to that Mississippi Queen because
it's definitely their version of it.
They have a point where they rage on it, and I love it. All right, so Ben.
Yes, sir.
Shots and then wheel, or wheel and then shots? You get to decide today.
Let's do shots and then wheel.
All right, what do you want to shoot?
We're gonna do mine.
All right, fair enough.
Goes out with Marks.
Very good.
Vump. Give it and get it.
All right.
Get it and give it.
Get it and give it.
All right, so this is the 1776 100 proof. Oh fuck! I felt that
right to the brim. Look at that viscosity.
Surface tension.
What? Definitely not surface tension.
It is surface tension. That's what we learned. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mates.
Donk. While good, the ending shot is never.
No.
Woo! It's never really pleasant. Jesus Christ.
Glad I got that apple juice.
Yeah, it's got a bite.
Take the mask off. Let's get the wheel. Let's let Mark spin.
Ooh,
boys.
Do the honors, eh?
Yeah. Unless,
right.
Ben, you want to spin?
I spun last time.
I thought I did. Either way, all right. So we're obviously not
Mark's back.
I'll do it.
vying for... Get that even.
Okay, so let's get
So many times on video, it's not even.
Let's
All right.
get
It's
to
fairly even. I don't have a
The
tape measure.
last one.
Oh wait, where's the one?
You
We already
erased
took
it.
it off. That's
All
right.
right, that's a good one to start on.
We'll just keep it
All
like
right, give him a hand just to make sure he doesn't tip it over.
1, 2. Wait, aren't you doing the...
Do a crank. You got to do a Wheel of Fortune crank. So that's where you
So
like
back
3.
2.
Yeah, back 2 or 3. What? No.
Wait, don't you want to do the wheel? Or did you abandon
All right,
it?
let's do it.
Did you abandon it?
Oh yeah, we'll just start over.
Okay.
I mean,
My
if you wanna
contact's
abandon
bothering
it,
me,
that's
sorry.
okay.
All right. Well, I gotta give it a second.
Oh, it's an airplane.
It's an airplane, but it's a loud one.
Yeah.
Is that a
My
storm?
fucking eyeball!
Put some whiskey in it.
Oh my god! Oh,
Why did I listen to him?
It burns so bad.
All right. And now, with the magic of editing, we are at the Wheel of Destiny. All right, Mark, you're gonna have honors
I'll do
today.
the honors.
That sound like
Give me a
Flight
hand.
311 or whatever. out there.
There you go. Ben, hold on. That's better.
First spin was a little weak.
Oh, shit.
Oh, look at that.
So this is a newcomer. We just put it on tonight.
This is a Marcus
Yeah.
edition.
1994?
I believe so.
Green Day.
94, 95. I think it was 94.
Sounds right. Green Day.
Dookie.
It was
Dude,
one of
yeah.
the first albums I ever listened all the way through. It was on tape. And yeah, I like my memories of this are very positive. I'll just say that much.
Yep. You're entering one of my favorite genres or favorite times in I guess what you consider rock and roll or mainstream rock and roll.
To me,
punk.
yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
like kind of punk, and then you're getting also
Yeah.
into the grunge scene.
Alternative
Like yeah,
rock,
90s rock is like one of my go-to.
Yeah.
It's
I know
what
you
we
guys make
grew
fun of me
up
for listening
in.
to Pandora,
Mhm.
but Pandora has a really good collection of 90s. If you do 90s alternative,
Yeah.
that playlist they scroll through is really good.
Is
It's got a lot of Green Day,
is this the album with
Soundgarden, Stone
When I
Temple. It's
Come
got a lot of
Around?
good shit. Yes.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
We'll
I
cut
don't
it out if
remember
it
either,
doesn't.
yeah, I'm not sure.
We want to sound
I
somewhat
think it
knowledgeable.
does. I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure
know.
it's this one.
I was never a huge Green Day fan, but When I Come Around was like the first rock, whatever song that like, I was like, oh, because I was real big into country at the time, and then I heard When I Come Around, and I was like,
This is better than Achy
And
Breaky.
then you
Heart.
came around.
Yeah,
Then you came around.
Then I came around. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, this is better than Achy Breaky Heart. This is better than Boots Creek. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love those songs though, but like,
Yeah.
that just opened the door. Like, oh, there's other stuff out there.
Yeah.
That's current. That's not necessarily Black Sabbath or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what they listen to 925. My parents.
Hmm.
But anyway, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm excited for this one.
If you like what you've seen here, please like, subscribe.
Watch the show.
Tell my parents. Don't tell them.
Love you guys.
Don't love. Love you.
Until next time.
I do love you all the time though.
Thank you.
It's a labor of love. Okay.
I had to give a pause. You know why? Because Ben
I'm
always
right.
calls
'Cause
me
I'm
out
right.
on the time
Because
like
I'm right.
because I say, "Oh, thanks you, love you guys," and I'm already like standing up. So that's why I made it awkward. I made it awkward. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Shut up, Roy.